Hi everyone, Frederick here, Simple System Trading. I've posted on my Twitter that I was looking for showcases to cover this weekend. I'm doing some other trading work and I could push this one in. I got a few requests actually, so the one that I plan to do, I'll do some other day, and I'll go into the request I got. Stephen Harding posted this on Twitter. He's got @NextSignals, great follow, and he posted this algo. And I was asked, can you do that with your tools? Well, in this video, I will show you how you can approach this and how you could set up something like this inside ShareAchart. You would need a few tools, and the tools you would need is get my free bundle from my website. If you go to my homepage, there's this big button there, get the free bundle. If you follow the instructions, you should be good to go in a couple of minutes. And if you get the free bundle, you'll end up on my email list as well. I don't send too many emails every other week to keep you updated on any new stuff I make. That's it. So that's the free bundle. You also need to get the Auto Trader study, Auto Trading study. So if you're interested in that, you can go to the short link there, and it will show my first big blog post on the Auto Trader study. The study has been updated. I recently issued the big version 2 update. It's got a lot more features, but the concept is still the same. You can read all about it, how you can approach automated trading in ShareAchart with this Auto Trader study. It's a big study. It's got the full 128 settings, so you need to have some patience and learn something to get busy with it. There's a few resources you would need to get acquainted with. That's simple alert conditions inside ShareAchart. So that's as I see, and the color bar based on alert conditions study on ShareAchart as well. If you follow these links, these will direct you to the ShareAchart documentation. So with that said, we're gonna have a look how you could set something up, something like this. This is basically looking at a confirmed swing. I approached that inside ShareAchart as well with some other conditions. And if you read the thread, it's a bit more more complex than just a swing. And there has to be some assumptions made onto what the correct signal would be. Only Stephen knows, so I don't know what it is exactly, but I approach it, and maybe you can learn something from it and create your own approach. So this is not a system you want to start testing live on Monday. You would want to start your research with the approach I give you. And you can use my tools to make it work for you. So that's your job. Your job is to find an edge, test it, improve it, and make it work for your risk appetite. So with that being said, let's dive into the chart book. I will post this chart book on the website as well, so you can copy it and work from there. All right, let's look at the studies I loaded on this 1 minute ES chart. First off, the zigzag study. I didn't change much here. I just used a 4-point reversal in mode 3. And I used points for the zigzag line. Nothing else. If you have a particular preference, you can set it any way you want. And this will draw zigzag points. And I will use that to identify the swing high. By the way, this chart book is just the short signal. The long signal will be your job, your homework. So this is just to have a look at the concept here. So the swing high is identified using a color bar based on alert condition. So look into that. I always name my color bar based on alert conditions, so it's easier to reference them later. And in this case, I will make the background transparent of the blue color here. The alert condition is the most important one. And I'm using a subgraph from the zigzag study, subgraph 9. So let's go back to that zigzag study. What's subgraph 9? That's the oscillator. it's set to ignore, so you won't really see it when you use the study, but it's still there. And what this does, if you look at the tool values window here, let's make it a little bit smaller. You will see the oscillator visible here. And if you're going up from the last zigzag, that oscillator is positive. If you're going down from the last zigzag high, that oscillator is negative. So you can use that to identify your swing point. So that's what I've done here in this alert condition. I've said, and you can test that with the tool values window, test that alert condition. What this basically means is if that oscillator is smaller than 0, but the previous one was greater than 0, then we have a swing high point. So let's see that. And we unhide it. You see that you have a nice background here on every swing high point. All right, the second thing, what we want to save for the rule set, because I have a few rules I want to imply for that simple swing later. I want to catch that swing high price. I want to remember that until there is a new swing high price. And that's where the free bundle study comes in. If I open up the custom study, there's the free bundle here on my list. And these 3 studies have been in the free bundle for a while. These 2 from the beginning, this one the last 1.5 weeks. It allows you to set the subgraph value of this study, referencing some other subgraph. So it's a flexible study to be used with alert conditions. So if an alert condition is met, you can set the subgraph of this study. And that's going to be useful because we want to set, when we have that high swing identified, we want to set the high price of this study subgraph. And every time this alert condition is met, that subgraph will be updated. So we always have the swing price of that last swing. So if you look at the tool values window again, you can hover over the bars and you will see the, I have to unhide it, last swing high here. You see the last swing high. From here, you see it 33.50.25. And that's this swing right here, 33.50.25. And that will stay there. You see that SG value is still the same until we have a new one right here, 44.75 right there, etc. So that's a study we're going to use because in the simple swing definition, it's a color bar based on alert condition again. I named it simple swing high. We're going to color the bar in this case, and I have this alert condition. What does this mean? ID6, that's the swing high. So we have a swing high identified, and we have the high price of that particular swing high is greater than the last price of the price of the last swing high. That's what this means. That's the remembered swing high price. But since it's updating on this particular bar, we need to get the previous one. So previous bar still has that value. So we compare that. So we're looking for the new swing high, and it needs to be greater than the last swing high we had. So that's looking at the simple swing. So we unhide that, and we're going to have a colored bar whenever that's true. So you see here, this is a new swing high. It's bigger than the last swing high. We have a colored bar here as well. Here we don't. Here we don't. Here we don't. And here we do. Here we do as well. Here we don't, etc. Here we do. So that's the way, a simplified way to identify a swing high. You can work with possibly work with simple alert conditions and use different variables to identify it, but this is the approach. It can give you ideas on how to do it, and this is what I did. So that's the simple swing high. Then if you read the thread on this this post, then Stephen also says, well, you have to wait for that swing to confirm, but you also need, for the short side, you need some sell pressure. And however you identify sell pressure, right? But it's basically confirming that we're moving lower and you want to take two points out of the market. That's it. So sell pressure, how do I identify it? Well, this is what I have. Maybe you want to make it more complicated, you can do that. But I basically look at, is the bid volume greater than 120% of the ask volume? And you can play around with those numbers. Obviously, you can construct your own sell pressure identification. Doesn't matter. This is mine, just to show you how you can construct this. So that's sell pressure. So let's look at that. Where do we have sell pressure? There's quite a lot of sell pressure on these colored bars here, colored backgrounds. But not everyone is needed. So look at the short signal. We construct a short signal, and that will be background red colored. We name it, and I didn't do this yet, so you can see how it's done. For the auto trader to work, you need to have a short signal, and the short signal will need to output a -1. So we're going to use custom value here for the output when the condition is true, and we push a -1 in the custom value output. This will make sure that when this alert condition is true, so when the short signal fires, that the subgraph is a -1, and the AT will be able to handle that. So how is this short signal constructed? We have a big AND condition. That's where we start. Inside it, there's a OR condition, and we have another part of the AND condition. And that's based on what Stephen told us in his post. All right, the AND condition. We have sell pressure. That's ID1 here. ID1, SG1, we have sell pressure. That's good. We have a simple swing high, and the sell pressure has to be within a certain distance of that last swing high. In this case, it's within the last 3 bars. And you can adjust it. If you don't want it in the 3rd bar, you can just remove this line. If you want to have it in the 4th bar, you add a line here as well. So you can play around with that. So if there is a sell pressure bar, if it's within 3 bars of the last swing high, then we're good. And we want to have the closing price being at least 1.75 from that last high. Right? That's that ID7 SG1 again. So if we move 1.75 points lower from that last swing high, we have some sell pressure, and then we're good. That's the signal. Fairly simple. So you hit on this, we're going to show the signals. Right? On these red colored backgrounds, we have a short signal. If you look at the tool values window here, you see that the short signal on the low end here, right here, you see that that subgraph value is a -1 when it fires. This will fire intra-bar as well, so you could have intra-bar signals. The AT, the SST AT, which I will cover in a bit, you can set to the evaluation of the signal. But if you look at these signals, you would need to identify, okay, am I gonna wait for the bar close? Am I gonna use intrabar evaluation, which might also mean that you're going to have possibly signals on other bars as well that you don't see right now. Are you going to enter with what kind of order? Are you going to enter at market order? Do you want to have a limit order somewhere halfway the bar? When are you going to cancel that limit order if it doesn't fill you? All those questions is something you need to answer yourself. Where's your stop going to be? You're going to put the stop on the swing high here. That's what we're going to show in the AT. What's your target? Stephen says 2 points. Feed the bird and that's it. Do you want to move your stop to break even? All that stuff, that's the real design of your auto trading system, of your algo. So a signal isn't everything. You will need to identify your full approach and then test it and then fine-tune it and then see if you want to risk your money on it. So this is the first part where we identify the signals. The second part is where we going to use the signal in the auto trader study. So let's dive into that. All right, now I added the auto trader study. If you look in the custom study list, this is the auto trader bundle. It's got quite a few studies in there. I recently added the let me see, initial stop bump here, initial stop bump study. That's something I will cover in a next video. It's been recently added. What we're going to enter or use here for the chart is the auto trading study version 2. All the other ones are support studies to help you with certain functions in the auto trader. All right, added that to to the chart. We're gonna identify how we want to trade this setup. All right, we're only going to take short trades, so we're going to turn off the longs here. We will trade a full session here, but you can set up 3 sessions in the AT. Outside the session, it will not take any trades. You might want to use system time for your sessions if you go live. If you don't use session time, it will use the bar start that time to determine if you're in a session or not. We're going to use a stop order for sure. We're going to use a target order as well. The first target quantity is 1, so we have 1 target with 1 stop. That will be the setting here. The max position size is 1. The study will never enter a trade if you have a max position size reached, so this is safe. So that's all default, and this will enter you with a bracket order, 1 stop, 1 target, that's it. So we're going to identify the short signal here. Since we named it, it's easy to find. The short signal color bar subgraph is what we want to use. That's the -1 I talked about. We're going to evaluate that signal at the bar close. So we keep it simple. And I just want to enter with a market order. What I normally do, enter with a market order. It's the worst possible fail. If you get a quick back test and you get a good percentage of winners, then you're already on your way to make something profitable. So it's a good first test. So we have market order here. Depending on the order type you select, you have some other settings to identify the price levels of a stop order or stop loss, stop limit order, a limit order, etc. These are the order types that are supported. So market order keeps it easy. We have exit option. Right now we just choose normal. We either are exit with a stop loss or the target being hit, but you can identify an exit based on a study signal. So another signal you identify, if that happens, maybe your signal is not that valid anymore, you just want to get out. You can do that with the exit study. It's bar-based, time-based exits as well. So we keep that to normal. We set the first target as a fixed target value. Set 2 points, so 2 points is 8 ticks for the ES. So we'll set that. These are your options. You can do a relative and a study subgraph as well. So you can study subgraph has to be a priced subgraph. So first target is fixed, 8 ticks, easy. Stop. We're gonna set a subgraph value stop for the short here, and I wanna have that the last swing high price. So I give it some room here. So I give it some room. And that will be the emergency stop. I do want to use a move to break even here, and I'll use simple one, a value triggered move to break even. So if we move 6 ticks, I want to move it to break even. You can set an offset here, just push that to 0. So we have a break even if we move 6 ticks. So you get a move in. You might not hit the 8, but you're still not losing big. And that's what we're gonna use for this. There's all loads of other settings here for your trail stop. You can stop trading after a number of contracts, longs, shorts, wins, losses, daily losses, profits. But that's all for the course I will one day do on this big study. So that's it. We're gonna turn that on. You'll see a button here. I didn't mention it, but in the other videos on the blog post I mentioned the basic setups, and that's adding an on and off button to your control bar. It's button number 1, and if I turn it on and off, it will turn on and off. If you go live, it will get a different color than if you are in sim mode. And those colors can be set right here in the subgraphs here. So live sim right here. Also the background of the on and off button you can set. All right, now let's do a little replay to see it work. So let's have a look at these last two here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Also want to check that your auto trading global is on. Auto trading enabled global, auto trading chart should be on. We're going to turn on the auto trader, and we're going to just do a very simple single chart standard replay of this piece of the chart. So now, right now it will load the data and we'll start replaying the chart. And you will see we just had that new swing high and evaluated the signal. We have some sell pressure here, and we gonna see if that remains until bar closes. So if the bar closes, we'll get that entry at the market. So we enter at the market, we have a stop at the swing high, and we have that 2-point target. Let's see that work now. So we have a move to break even, and I think we just got stopped out. Let's show the fills here. Yeah, we got stopped out at break even. It didn't move further. That's all it gave. We have a next signal here, and that's also stopped out at break even. If you would give it more room, you would likely get 2 points right there. All right, that's a little replay example. There's other ways to backtest. So disconnect from the data feed. We have a bar-based backtest here. So we can do that as well. Just a simple one. And we'll see if what the results are from this one. Since you're we are using a bar close in a market order, it will generally be realistic enough for first impression. But with these backtest replays or backtest, bar-based backtest, it's not as accurate, of course, as a live trading environment. So whatever comes out of this backtest is not fully representative of your live results. You will need to do some forward testing for that. But as a general trade idea, it can give you an impression to, if you have something that could be nice to forward test in a live environment. So it's almost done now, and then you will see the results in the trade activity log. So I have the trade activity log opened here. Let's see, filter it. Sim activity. So this is your trade activity log. You can go to stats, and if you look at this right now, there is a profit factor that doesn't really make money yet. The percentage is it's okay. So with a little trade management, you could likely do something better for your end result. You still have likely a few bigger losses here than your winners. So this strategy needs some work, but there could be something worth to tweak. Look at here, this signal, you got the 2 points. This signal got the 2 points. And this signal got stopped out, break even, etc. So you can have a look at the results on this particular setup. There's a one full stop out here, another one here. So, and the replay will be a bit different than the live environment. So if you can investigate, you see here you have 4.5 winner, which in real life you would just have your 2 points. So, but that's backtesting. That's bar-based backtest. Doesn't calculate too many things. There's some share chart documentation on the differences between them. You can have a look at that. But for the video, this is basically the way you can approach a trade idea. Use some built-in share chart studies to create your signal. Use some free bundle studies to do the same, and then launch the auto trader study to backtest that idea and fine-tune your signals and trade management. I hope you like this video. Let me know. Don't forget, get that free bundle right here on the website. Give me a follow on Twitter, would be nice. And I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.